Here are the major events in Donald Trump's timeline from mid-2024 through mid-2025. July 13, 2024, assassination attempt in Pennsylvania while campaigning near Butler. Pa Trump was shot in the upper right ear by a rifle. He survived, taking cover behind the lectern, and was released from the hospital later that day. One bystander was killed. This incident marked the most serious breach of presidential security since Reagan in 1981, September 15, 2024. A foiled plot in Florida security intercepted Ryan Wesley Ruth, aimed an SKS-style rifle at Trump during a golf outing at his West Palm Beach club. No one was harmed. The suspect was later arrested November 5th to 8th. 2024 election victory. Trump won the 2024 presidential election, becoming the 47th U.S. president, one of only two presidents elected to non-consecutive terms like Grover Cleveland at age 78. January 20th, 2025. Second inaugurations sworn in at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda amid unusual cold and wind. Trump began his second term with VP J.D. Vance. This historic non-consecutive inauguration echoed his first in 2017. Early 2025 executive actions and policy shifts in his initial weeks. Trump pardoned approximately 1,500 individuals involved in the January 6th events, signed sweeping immigration orders, reinstating the Mexico border emergency, blocking asylum entries, targeting cartels, challenging birthright citizenship, and launching mass deportation procedures, created the Department of Government Efficiency, Deutsch II/public spending, restructure bureaucracy, and reduce the federal workforce May 13 to 16. 2025 Middle East visit. Trump toured Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE, accompanied by advisors including Elon Musk. Focus areas included securing up to $4 trillion in U.S.-linked investment deals, exploring semiconductor and mineral agreements, announcing lifted sanctions on Syria, criticizing Iran, and briefly considering renaming the Persian Gulf plans. Later dropped June 12 to 17. 2025 aggressive domestic and foreign policy. Wildfire reform, push to merge federal wildland firefighters into a new unified agency, a move met with concern from firefighting experts. Immigration crackdowns pledged. The largest mass deportation program in history, targeting migrants in democratic cities. Following protests, military deployment at home, considered deploying National Guard to quell protests related to immigration raids, raising constitutional concerns. FEMA reorganization, announced plans to phase out FEMA post-hurricane season, shifting disaster response to states. Critics warned this could weaken disaster relief. June 17, 2025 Middle East conflict. Trump took a hardline stance, rejecting ceasefires, demanding Iran relinquish its nuclear ambitions, and hinting at U.S. involvement supporting Israeli strikes. Escalating Middle East tensions. Big picture snapshot. Trump's return to office has been marked by historic resilience. A failed assassination in 2024 and a comeback to claim a historic non-consecutive term. Swift executive orders, pressing domestic shifts on immigration. Federal oversight, environmental fisheries policy. Bold foreign diplomacy, a business-driven Middle East tour, and an aggressive posture toward Iran and Israel. Controversial crises. Handling proposals to reorganize FEMA, deploy troops on U.S. streets, and centralize wildfire response. Here's a detailed breakdown of the July 13, 2024 assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. Here's a detailed overview of what happened on July 13, 2024. During the assassination attempt on Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. When and where? On Saturday, July 13, 2024, at 6:11 p.m. Matt Trump was speaking at a campaign rally at the Butler Farm Showgrounds near Butler. PA shooter and attacked Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old from Bethel Park, PA, positioned himself on the roof of a nearby warehouse.
Ow!
About 1:30150 yards from the stage, he fired 8 rounds from an AR-15 style rifle, grazing Trump's upper right ear. Immediate response, Secret Service and local SWAT quickly reacted. A Beaver County SWAT officer disabled Crooks' rifle within about 4 seconds. and a Secret Service counter-sniper killed him about 12 seconds later. Victim Trump sustained a graze wound to his ear. He was treated at a local hospital and released. The same day, Corey Compertory, a 50-year-old firefighter and father, was killed shielding his family to other rally-goers, ages 57 and 74. Were critically injured. Additional injuries included 4 police officers hurt by flying debris and possibly a relative of Rep. Ronnie Jackson, but that remains unconfirmed. Shooter background Crooks lived in Bethel Park, it's a suburb near Pittsburgh, and appeared to have acted alone. His motive is still unknown. Authorities found explosive devices in his car and evidence he scouted the rally with drones and prep materials, including buying nitromethane well before the attack. Security breaches. A congressional task force and Senate investigation described it as a preventable failure. The warehouse rooftop from which Crooks fired was outside the secure perimeter and went unguarded due to poor coordination. Radios, communications, planning by the Secret Service. Aftermath and impacta. FBI classified the event as domestic terrorism and led the investigation. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle acknowledged it was the most severe operational failure in decades and later resigned. Trump responded by calling his survival a miracle and vowed to continue campaigning, praising the Secret Service and honoring comparatory Crooks using an AR-15-style rifle. Fired 8 shots from a rooftop, grazing Trump and killing a civilian. The swift action of a local SWAT and Secret Service prevented further harm. Multiple serious security shortcomings were later revealed, prompting major federal probes and leadership changes. Would you like to explore more about the Congressional Security Report, victim stories, or how new measures were implemented after this incident? Here's a refined breakdown of June 12th to 17th, 2025, detailing President Trump's aggressive domestic and foreign policy moves. Domestic cracking down on immigration and deploying troops. Immigration raids and ICE actions. June 6th onward, ICE carried out high-profile raids in Los Angeles, starting June 6th, triggering widespread protests. In response, Trump federalized the California National Guard, approximately 2,100 members, and readied 700 Marines to support ICE operations in Los Angeles. This marked a rare and highly controversial use of military force in domestic immigration enforcement. Protests and No Kings backlash. Widespread protests erupted across CA. With honks and curfews in LA, nationwide resistance followed, dubbed the No Kings protests, coinciding with a military parade in Washington on June 14th for Trump's 79th birthday. Legal clash with California Governor Gavin Newsom sued on June 9th, seeking a restraining order against Trump's guard deployment. June 12th, Judge Breyer issued a TRO blocking the federal order, resting on constitutional principle. That night, an emergency Ninth Circuit stay temporarily reinstated the deployment. National Guard and troops in other cities. Trump's administration hinted at extending similar deployments to other sanctuary areas like Chicago, prompting legal and political pushback, including Chicago's mayor labeling it unconstitutional. Domestic FEMA reorganization announced post-hurricane shift. Trump announced plans to phase out FEMA after the 2025 hurricane season, reallocating disaster response duties to state governments and bypassing FEMA. Entirely foreign hardline stance on Iran and Israel, demand for unconditional surrender at the G7, and in statements around June 17th, Trump rejected ceasefire proposals demanding Iran's complete nuclear disarmament and hinting at expanded U.S. military support for Israeli strikes. Immigration ICE raids plus troop deployment heightened civil unrest. Constitutional debate, lawsuits, disaster response, FEMA phase-out, state burdens increased, readiness gaps widening. Foreign policy, anti-Iran rhetoric plus building Israel's support risking regional tensions. Testing international alliances. This period marks Trump's pivot toward aggressive enforcement and centralized authority using military force, domestically restructuring emergency infrastructure, and pushing a hawkish foreign policy, sparking intense legal, political, and societal ramifications. Donald J. Trump, born June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York City. Ethnicity, primarily German and Scottish. Descent religion, raised Presbyterian parents. Donald Trump is the fourth of 5 children, Ariane Trump Berry, 1937 to 2024. Retired federal judge, Third Circuit Court of Appeals. Fred Trump Jr., 1938 to 1981, was expected to enter the family business, but became a pilot, struggled with alcoholism, and died young. Elizabeth Trump Grauby, 1942, worked in the banking sector, lives privately. Donald Trump, Probert Trump, 1948 to 2020, a businessman who managed the Trump Organization's real estate holdings, passed away in 2020. Marriages and children: 1. Ivana Trump, married 1977, divorced 1992, Czech-born fashion model and businesswoman. Children: Donald Trump Jr. B., 1977, executive VP at Trump Organization. Political commentator and campaign surrogate Ivanka Trump B., 1981, former White House advisor, married to Jared Kushner. Eric Trump B., 1984, executive VP at Trump Organization. Manages winery and real estate. Tamarla Maples, married 1993, divorced 1999. Actress and TV personality Tiffany Trump B., 1993. Graduated from Georgetown Law, married Michael Boulos in 2022. Melania Trump, married 2005 President Slovenian-born former model and First Lady 2017-2021. Child Barron. Trump B., 2006, currently in school, known for staying out of the public eye.